All right, let's check out Knowledge Check 7.3.3.4. All right, the first step in this one was to go ahead and install the NYC Flights 13 package if you haven't already done that. So I can go ahead and run that. Now, this package is simply a package that contains data, and it's basically flights that go to and from New York City. All right, so I've updated that package. So next, I've got a code chunk here that says, let's see, all right, using the flights data provided by this package, create the following regression model. Now, I don't expect you to understand what's going on with this model. This is not something that we'll get into until much later in the class. But basically what we're doing is we're taking some built-in data in this package and we're creating a linear regression model. And one of the things that you will come to find is that lists get used a lot of the time as the mechanism to hold the output from a lot of machine learning, predictive, or statistical modeling models that we apply, right? So the output of this flight LM, it's a linear regression model, but it's all the contents are held within a list, all right? So we're gonna take this list, and the first thing that we wanna do is how many items are in this list? Well, I can always get how many items are in like a vector or a list using the length function. So I can go ahead and supply my flight LM object in here, my list object, and there's 14 list items. So what are the names of these items? Well, let's go ahead and I can do names and I can do flight LM. And we get 14 values back, and these are the names of each of the items within this list. So these are all items that we can extract out and use if we wanted to. So say we wanted to extract the coefficients of this model, we could do so, and we could do that in a couple different ways. We can go ahead and do coefficients. Oh, need to close my string there. There we go. So I just ran into an issue because I didn't close my string and I tried to re-execute. So that's why we're getting that weird error. So once we pass the string with the list item name, I'm gonna get that back. Now the thing is, if you recall from the lesson material that you read through, there's a few different ways that we can actually subset for these coefficients. One is just with single brackets, and what we get in return is a list. We could also use double brackets, and now what I get back, it's the same information, but I get back as a vector. And the one other approach is to go ahead and use a $sign and then the name, and I'll get the same thing back, a vector. Now when we use a $sign, just note that we don't include the name within quotes, right? We only include the name within quotes when we're using brackets for subsetting. All right, so the next and last thing is to extract the departure delay. So what we did above was we extracted all the coefficients for our model, and these are the coefficients for each of the predictor variables. Now the names of those predictor variables, we can see that in the output here. And what we actually want to do is get the coefficient, but also get the departure delay. So what I can do is I can do that, and I can do flight LM, and I can do coefficients just like I did before. I'm going to do brackets, and I'm going to subset for delay. And now I get my departure delay coefficient, which we see right there. Right? And you could do the same thing where we do single brackets when we're doing the list. And then the next bracket, oh, we can't do single brackets. Actually, we can't do single brackets because the single brackets returns a list, right? So we'd have to do double brackets to get the vector back. And then we can do single brackets. So that just illustrates, a lot of times, even when I'm doing subsetting within lists, it gets a little bit confusing. You run into errors, but you just need to think about the steps that we were trying to do and how can we chain together different types of indexing procedures.